Microphone check, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, Chair, we're gonna get rolling now. Good morning and welcome to the Committee on Finance. At this time, we ask if you could please place phones on vibrate or silent mode. Thank you, Chair. We are ready to begin.
Okay, good morning and welcome to today's Finance Committee meeting where we will be adopting the FY24 budget. I'm Justin Brandon, council member, and I chair the Committee on Finance. I want to acknowledge my fellow committee members who are here today. Council members Lewis, Barron, Stevens, Brooks Powers, Velasquez, Farias, Hudson, Juan, and Brewer, Ayala and Osei, Powers, Sanchez, and Moya is on Zoom. Today, the Finance Committee will take the necessary actions for the City Council to adopt a $107.1 billion budget for FY24. I first want to thank Speaker Adams for her leadership throughout the entire budget process and particularly through these last 6 months. The Speaker's commitment to a budget that provides the necessary investments into the essential services that New Yorkers rely on while also preparing for future risks embodies the leadership the people of the city sent us here to achieve. I'd also like to thank the Speaker for her continued commitment to high standards of transparency and inclusivity of all the members throughout the budget process. I also must thank the tireless work, I can acknowledge the tireless work of the Council's Finance Division. From preliminary through executive to today, it has been months of very long hours, questions from members, regular briefings, presentations, and reports, and there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes back at Mission Control across the street. This budget really reflects your dedication, and we really, really greatly appreciate it. So thank you to all of the finance staff, to all of the financial analysts, the economists, the administrative support staff who got us to this vote today. A very special thank you to the Finance Division's leadership team who spearheaded this effort. Finance Director Richard Lee, Managing Director Jonathan Rosenberg, Deputy Director and Chief Economist Dr. Ray Majeski, who we'll talk about more later, Deputy Director Emra Adev, Chima Obachair, Paul Simone, Isha Wright, Assistant Directors Carillion Francisco and Elizabeth Hoffman, Supervising Economist Paul Sturm, Unit Heads Alia Ali, Julia Haramis, James Reyes, Jack Story, and Finance Counsel Kathleen Ahn. And of course, a huge thank you to the Finance Division's Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Chief of Staff, to the Speaker, Tanisha Edwards, for her leadership. The budget success we have achieved today is possible from the dedicated efforts of you and the staff, so we thank you all. I would be remiss if I also did not thank the Legislative Documents Unit. Today is like Christmas Day for the LDU. They pull it all together through countless emails and changes and corrections and last-minute requests from central staff that come from members. Every hearing, every vote, every stated. Thank you to Jonathan Etrix, Ruthie Del Franco, Yvette Molina, Billy Martin, and Matthew DiStefano. The ever-present Sergeants-at-Arms who keep things orderly and safe on both sides of the street during budget season, parade season, everything in between. Thank you, Carl, Raphael, and your entire team. And last but not least, a special shout out to my staff for all that you do, in particular my special advisor, Jonathan Yedin, and my right-hand man through all of these hearings, Committee Counsel Michael Toomey. This budget represents the council's commitment to preserving the key services New Yorkers as a people, as a city, rely on to meet the challenges ahead. While decisions have to be made, there's no reason to cut with a scythe in a $107 billion budget. As just an example of the restorations we've accomplished, we've successfully restored $36.2 million in programmatic cuts to our libraries, secured $16 million for Promise NYC childcare services, and implemented a $15 million baseline pilot to convert 1,800 school day, school year 3K seats to extended day, extended year. On housing, the council restored $32.9 million to NYCHA's vacant unit readiness program to get vacant apartments ready for new tenants, as well as reach the target of $4 billion in capital funds for the construction of new affordable housing. These are anchors around which communities can build and grow their quality of life. We approach this budget with eyes wide open to potential difficulties in the out years, but with the knowledge that resilience doesn't happen by accident. It requires meaningful investments. With the investments secured in this budget, the city has a solid foundation from which to continue to recover, succeed, and be healthy and safe. Now, let's turn to adopting this budget. Before we get to the vote, I'd like to discuss the specific items that we will vote on today. All members received a budget packet by the committee council that contains all the budget-related legislation that must be voted on by the committee and again by the full council at the stated meeting later today. So I'm just going to list the items that are on our agenda before, I'm going to list the items on our agenda that require a vote in this committee. Number 1 is the resolution approving the FY24 expense budget. Number 2 is a resolution approving the FY24 contract budget. Number 3 is a resolution approving the FY24 capital budget, which is Reso A and Reso B. Number 4 is a resolution approving an expense budget modification, which would close out FY23. Number 5 is a resolution approving a revenue budget mod, which closes out FY23. Number 6 is a resolution approving the proposed FY24 Community Development Program, reallocation of the 49th year funds, and proposed 50th year program. Number 7 is 3 property tax resolutions, current base proportion, adjusted base proportion, and the resolution fixing the tax rates. All are interlocking resolutions that together are necessary for adopting the FY24 property tax rates, as well as a transparency resolution. The other documents that were emailed to you which do not require a separate vote are Schedule C, a list of the terms and conditions adopted for FY24, and that's it. As a reminder to members, Schedule C is a schedule of the expense and contract budgets, and the appropriations for the organizations listed in Schedule C are funded by the expense and contract budgets. Council members will have to sign a disclosure form indicating whether or not a conflict exists with any of the groups listed in Schedule C or Reso A, which details the designations of the capital discretionary funds. A separate disclosure form must be completed for the transparency resolution. If any council member has a potential conflict of interest with any of the organizations included, they have the opportunity to disclose the conflict at the time of their vote. If you have not signed those disclosure forms yet, staff from General Counsel's office are here today and available to guide you through the process. Please contact one of them before you vote. As further reminder, please disclose any conflicts you may have with the proposed subcontractors that are used by any of the organizations sponsored. These disclosures must be made before the subcontractor can be approved to receive funds. Those are all of our items for today. Are there any questions or comments from the committee? Councilmember Barron.
I want to make a comment just regarding the budget. I just want the public to know that this budget was just given to us 10 minutes ago. This is the final budget that we received 10 minutes ago. What they should have attached to it was speed reading so we can get through the budget and make an intelligent assessment of this budget. I also want to say that a budget is a document not just about dollars and cents, but it is about your values, your priorities. This budget does not value the low-income, poor communities of East New York, Brownsville, Harlem, in the Bronx, black and brown communities that are suffering from double-digit poverty, double-digit unemployment. How do you have a $107 billion budget, and when you look at that budget, you got $3 billion worth of cuts, and then we're going to celebrate the restoration of $200 to $300 million out of the $3 billion cuts. Cuts to education, millions. Cuts to health care. Cuts to our youth, our seniors. Even we tried to get some fair transportation, didn't want to fully fund that for low-income people. This budget is anti-working class people. While there were some progress made, the city council fought to put some things back, but we're dealing with a mayor who's a not-so-closet Republican conservative cop mayor that values these things more than the people of our city. So I finally want to say that I'll definitely be voting no for this budget. We should use the power of the city council to say we're going to check this mayor. I know this budget is no good because I've never seen a more reluctant handshake by a speaker in all my 14 years in doing this budget. I've never seen such a reluctant handshake, but because they have to work together, that front has to be put out. But we shook hands on this yesterday, not we, not me. They shook hands on this yesterday before they even saw it. We just got the final budget today. So for the people of New York City, you need to rise up. You need to rise up and take a strong stance on how your taxpaying dollars are being spent and used. The fact that you're not the priority. So I want to encourage the council to vote no on this budget until they do it right by the people of New York. And I want to say also, $439 million should have been added or put into this budget, set aside for our retirees. These are people who worked in our schools, lunchroom attendants, who made sure that our children could cross the streets, traffic safety officers. These are people who did the essential service, EMS, sanitation. And you, Mayor Adams, you don't want to pay $439 million that the city has been paying for 57 years. You want to force them into Aetna, who took out policies for enslaved Africans, who's under investigation for corruption, and who doesn't unionize. But all these unions were with the non-unionizing Aetna. I say keep them in senior care, because we need to care for those retirees. So I will be voting no on this budget because, as Adam Clayton Powell said, who sat 3 seats over to my right, he was the first black council member in this district, and he said, use what's in your hands. If you have power in your hands, use it for the people of New York City. Use it so that we can have a more humane, sensitive budget. This budget is not fiscally prudent. It's fiscally negligent and economically oppressive to the poor working class families of New York. I will be proudly voting no on this budget.
Thank you, Councilmember Barron. Are there other comments or questions from the committee? We've also been joined by Council Members Hanks and Carr. If there are no more questions or comments, I'm going to ask Billy Martin, the committee clerk, to call the roll.
Good afternoon. William Martin, Committee Clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Finance. All items are coupled. Chair Brennan.
I vote aye.
Ayala.
I vote aye.
Moya.
After this closed, I'm sorry.
Oh, hang on. Councilmember Ayala has to make a disclosure.
Yeah. I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that 1, AHRC, the New York City chapter of New York City Association for Retarded Children, which I take offense to that name, is funded in the budget that we are adopting, and my partner is an employee in that of the organization, and that 2, Positive Workforce is funded in this budget that we're adopting, and my son and my brother are associated with that organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Moya.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Powers.
I vote aye, and I'm disclosing on the record on the council proceedings that Mount Sinai Hospital is funding the budget we're adopting. My mother is an employee of the organization. And Chair, just a quick second of your indulgence.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate the Chair Brandon, the Finance Division, the Speaker, and many others for very hard-fought negotiation here. And after months of doing hearings and fighting to get restorations, which are a big deal, I want to congratulate them. I want to say a very big congratulations to Richard Lee, Tanisha, and the whole Finance Division here for the work they did. And I'm very happy to see our libraries, our cultural institutions, and many others are getting the restorations they rightfully deserve. And I hope we will continue to fight for them in the future, and I know we will. And to see many of the other great victories here as well, I proudly vote aye.
Thank you.
Lewis.
We got a lot of papers in front of us. I would like to disclose on the record of the council proceedings that Metropolitan Transportation Authority is funded in the budget that we're adopting today, and my brother is an employee with the entity. I would also like to echo the same sentiments as Majority Leader Powers. I want to congratulate you, Chair Brennan, on your hard work, as well as the Finance Division, Tanisha, Richard, and everyone else. I vote aye on all.
Brooks Powers.
Permission to explain my vote?
Sure.
First, I'd like to commend you, Chair Brannon, as well as Speaker Adams, for leading this body through a very difficult budget year. Recognizing that the mayor has made significant cuts to critical services for New Yorkers. And while we may not have been able to make every line item come back, we were able to hold the line in the sand for a number of critical areas, including for our seniors, including for our education system, including for public transportation. And I just want to remind everyone that the budget in the City Council is a year-round process, and we look forward to exercising our full oversight responsibilities over the course of the year. And with that, I would like to disclose on record of the council proceedings that Queens Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is funded in the budget. We are adopting, and I am associated with that organization. And that Greater Allen AME Cathedral of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that entity. And that Ed School of the Arts, also known as ISOTA, is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my daughter is associated with that organization. With that, I vote aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Barron.
Just want to disclose that my son works for BRIC, which is funded in this budget. He's an employee of that entity. And as I vote no on items M141, no on M142, and no on M143, which is basically the budget, I vote no on that. And just want to remind also that when they talk about 36 million being restored to the libraries, that's a good thing, but they're restoring it on top of cuts from last year. So that 36 million doesn't even make the libraries whole, because they had to do cuts last year, 3 and 4%, and cuts this year. And so they play this little fake fight game and restore stuff that they cut it and didn't make them whole this year. So I vote no and aye on all the other items.
Thank you. Brewer.
Thank you. I definitely vote yes. Like everyone, I want to thank the Speaker and Chair Brandon. I also want to thank, obviously, Richard Lee, Tanisha Edwards, Jonathan Rosenberg, Vanessa Diaz, all the MDI staff with Jimmy Reyes, Carolyn Gill, and Owen Kutowski, and Cynthia Hornig, Shula Warren, Sam Goldsmith from my office. A very tough budget. I want to second the comments that we're going to keep working on it during the year, particularly for those we worked as hard as we could for the human service employees for whom I have great respect. We obviously need to try to get COLAs to be increased, but it was a hard fought when the mayor cuts the workers who are the backbone of our city. Thank you very much for everyone involved.
Thank you. Farias.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that NYU Langon is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my mother is an employee of that entity, and that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget, and we are adopting, and my sibling is a student at that entity, and I vote aye on all.
Hanks.
Thank you. I vote aye on everything aye on all except for M169 and accompanying Reso 713 and Reso 703 and 704. Aye on all the rest, and thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Hudson.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that Museum of the City of New York is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my spouse is associated with that entity, and I'm aye on all.
Osei.
Permission to explain my vote?
Yes.
I'm voting against this budget for many reasons, but I want to commend the libraries and the cultural institutions for their tireless fight in making sure that they receive the funding that they deserve. Very proud of the work that we've done together in rallying to push back against the mayor's cuts. We here in this room and the broader council know how important our libraries and our cultural institutions are to the people of New York City. And with that, I vote aye on all except M141, M142, and M143. And thank you.
Thank you.
Get the reso number? You asked him for the reso number?
Sanchez.
Michael.
Thank you. I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my brother is employed by that entity. And with that, I vote aye.
Stevens.
Good afternoon. I'm disclosing on the record that the University of New York is funded in this budget we are adopting, and my daughter is a student at that institution, and Columbia Presbyterian is funded in this budget we are adopting, and my daughter is an employee of that institution. And although I am really upset that we weren't able to deliver for the human service sector with their COLA, the fight will continue, and I vote aye on all.
Velasquez.
Permission to explain my vote?
Of course.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that my spouse is an employee of the Department of Environmental Protection, and Samaritans of New York is funded in the budget that we're adopted, and my sibling is a board member of that entity, and that New York City Department of Housing and Preservation Development is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my sibling is associated with that entity. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Williams. Juan.
Aye on all.
Carr.
I'd like to disclose on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my spouse is a student at that entity, and the Italian Club of Staten Island and the Jewish Community Center of Staten Island are being funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am a member of both of those organizations. I'll make more lengthy thank yous as stated, but just thank you to all the staff who worked on this, and I'll be voting no on M169 and accompanying Resolution 713, as well as Resos 703 and 704, and aye on the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment. All items have been adopted by a vote of 17 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, with the exception of the following items: M141, 142, and 143, as well as M169 and pre-considered resolution, as well as Resolution 703 and 704 were adopted by the committee with 15 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 0 abstentions.
Thank you. Before we close, I want to congratulate our chief economist, Ray Majeski. This will be his last budget with us. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. We'll see you at stated in a little while.